Okay. Alrighty. Well, thanks so much for coming on, guys. Um, today I want to talk to you guys about some don'ts to do in the business. It's easy to talk about all the things to do. Um, and sometimes it's easier to understand when you just know what not to do. And I know that Emily did a Zoom on the do's and don'ts this week, and I purposely didn't watch it because I didn't want our information to be the same. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's not because Emily is Emily, but sorry if I'm mirroring a lot of what she's saying. Kojo, you're good, bud. Um, Okay, so the first thing, the biggest don't that I have is don't wait to get started. Don't think that you need to know this about the products or that about the business before you start sharing. Whatever you know right now is perfect. That's all you need to know in order to start sharing. If all you know is that you ordered your pink drink and you don't know what it's going to taste like, but you hope it works, that's okay. That's all you need to know. Just don't wait. That's the worst thing you can do. If I would have waited until I knew just the right amount of information, I would have never started. I still wouldn't be here today. Now the second is, now don't think that that's an excuse not to learn. Not needing to know everything to share is not an excuse to not learn as you go. If you learn as you go, you'll grow. There's no way around that. Always be hungry to learn. We're all short on time. I worked full time when I started this opportunity. I understand. On my way to work and on my way home from work, I would put on YouTube. I wouldn't watch it, don't worry, but I'd put it and I'd hook it up to Bluetooth, or I'd put like a headphone in and listen to training calls. If I was in the bathroom or during lunchtime, I was responding to messages. I was getting potentials on the phone. You can grind it. Don't use time as an excuse. Another thing is, don't let fear stop you. We're all scared at first, and everyone's been through it. The only difference is that the people that push past it are the ones that actually succeed. I guarantee Emily Roberts was terrified with certain things, but look where she is today. I know for a fact Jen gets scared with things, but she keeps pushing through. I was terrified to do Zooms. I've been putting this off forever, but it's time to start. You push past it. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Another thing is, don't not be a product of the product. You want to run your business genuinely and honest, and in order to do that, you need to take the products consistently and correctly. You can't tell others to do the same if you're not even going to do it yourself. So that's the foundation right there. Be on the products and take them correctly and consistently. At the beginning, your story and your experience with the products could be all you know, and that's your strongest tool. So utilize it. In order to have it, you need to do it right. Another thing is, don't take rejection or no's personally. They aren't saying no to you, to your life, to your friendship, all of that. It's just maybe not for them. And that's okay. This opportunity isn't going to be for everyone, and you need to learn to be able to accept that right now. Don't take it personally. And if people are negative and you get kind of mean responses, which sometimes happens, reassure yourself that people can be opinionated, but that doesn't mean that they're educated. So it doesn't need to taint anything of what you're doing, because you are educated, because you are learning. And you can use their negativity as an example of what not to do to people. Use that as a fuel to want to be nicer and better and supportive for everyone else. Another big don't use sales graphics. Please don't do it. They are salesy, they are cheesy, they reek of salesperson, and that is not what we are. People won't trust you. They won't want to hear from you. They'll scroll right past it so fast if you are just putting sales graphics out there. I know firsthand, if somebody comes to me, or if I see someone's status, if they're selling other products and it's just these sales graphics, it makes me sick to my stomach and I don't want anything to do with it. Another thing is don't spam people. Be intentional and personal with how you're reaching out to them. Don't go in blind. I know a lot of us, when we're just getting started, it would be easier if there was somebody asks, what is Plexus? And we have, bam, it's this, and it's the same thing for everyone. We don't have that for a reason. It's because we are supposed to make it unique and mold to each person. So don't go in blind when you're reaching out to someone as a cold contact. Go on their Facebook, take 30 seconds to scroll through their life and see what they're about, see who they are, find something that you can relate with them on, reach out to them on that, talk to them about that, find a relatable ground that you guys have, whether it's you're both mommies, or you both like working out, or you both like to cook, or whatever it is, find something to relate. You can. There's always something. Another one is don't reach out one time and be done. That's not working your business. Follow up. There's a reason we say fortune is in the follow up. Most people, I learned this from being in sales, most people aren't ready in the moment, and that's okay. I know that when I see something at Target or Nordstrom or wherever, I rarely, and I'll tell myself, oh, I'll go get that one, in a couple weeks when this happens, I'll go get it. Sometimes I don't go back and get it. So we need to be reminded, follow up. Just because you don't catch them in that moment on the first reach out doesn't mean that that moment for them won't come in a couple days or in a week. You just need to catch them in it. And part of catching them in it is talking to them and showing them how much you care, which leads me into the next don't. Don't take hesitations and cost objections, or any objections for that matter, as a no, never. Find out what their hesitations are. Walk them through their objections. If you don't know how, seek guidance. Take a screenshot of your conversations. Send them to me. Send them to your upline. Watch videos. Be coachable on all of that. Know what it is that's stopping them. And 9 out of 10 times you can walk them through that. You can calm their fears, calm their worries, invest in them. I know for me, it took the confidence to be able to finally order. I doubted if it would work for me. And it took me hitting rock bottom and then finally pumping myself up like, you know what, I am worth it. And I ordered. And Nick was really good at being patient with me. She always followed up with me. And if it wasn't for that, I would have dropped off. So take the time to figure out what it is about people, what you need to do in order to help them get to that point of being comfortable to order or joining your team. It's a conversation. You're not convincing. Another one is don't treat or present this opportunity as a 9-to-5 job. It is an opportunity. I quit my job for a reason. I didn't like working for someone else. So if you have a team under you, don't be a manager. Don't tell them what to do. You coach them and you're there to support people, but you're not there to dictate. And same thing with when you're marketing on your Facebook or wherever you are doing it. If it's on YouTube or however you're getting it out, the word of Plexus out there, don't market it like you're sitting at a desk in a cubicle, because that's not what this is. This is time freedom. And this is something that fits into the nooks and crannies of our lives, which is key because, again, a lot of us are busy. We have stuff going on. Hello. I was working full time when I started this, and a lot of you are too. And how could we be successful at it if it was another full-time job? It's not. So don't don't present it like that. Really, really take pride in and drive it home all the way that this is something that fits into the nooks and crannies of our lives. Now, with that being said, it's not a hobby. It can be a hobby, but you'll get paid like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, you'll get paid like a CEO. But that's another Zoom for another time. Okay, another one, I'm almost done, guys, bear with me, is don't get comfortable. The moment you are comfortable and you're thinking, I got this figured out, I can do this, or this isn't so bad, or you're comfortable, that's where growth stops. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone, and that's in anything that you do. I talk to people and they say sometimes, oh, I'm comfortable, I don't need more money. Okay, you may not need it, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to do some extra things? I don't know about you, but I'm not too proud to say that I could use a few extra $100 every month. That's for darn sure. You could easily think, well, wasn't Emily comfortable sitting at Emerald? She had a Lexus that she was able to drive around in town, and she was making a 6-figure income. I think that that's pretty comfortable. But she kept pushing. She kept reading. She kept reaching out. She kept moving to the next zone. Once you conquer one fear, maybe that fear is reaching out to people. Once you conquer that zone, go to the next and push your limits. When you push your limits, you're only expanding yourself. None of it will do anything but push you forward. It's always going to push your business further, and it's always going to better you. So don't get comfortable. It's boring when you're comfortable anyways. Another big one is don't compare. In this business and in this realm, it can be really hard not to compare. At the end of the month when there's promotions going on, I talked about this in my last Zoom, it can be a really, really great time, but it can also be a really, really gut-wrenching, heart-tearing time. And you can look at comparisons and comparing journeys, and it can get you down. The only competition that you have in any of this is with yourself. And the only comparisons that you're ever doing is when you're comparing to better yourself. Use it as a learning opportunity. So an example of that is, I want to promote. Why am I not promoting and they are? Not in a negative way, but in a way of, I'm going to use this opportunity to learn. What is she doing that I'm not doing? Let me see her posts. What is he saying about the products that I'm not saying? Is he talking about the business more than I'm talking about the business? How are they handling conversations? One thing that my husband really taught me, and I'm thankful for, is he always, he's really big on feedback. So if you see someone who is going up in the ranks, reach out to them. Ask them for advice. Ask them for some help. We're one plexus. I reached out to Yvonne Cannon when I was working full-time, and I had no idea how she was able to quit her job. I wanted to do what she did. And I was on her page, and I was looking, and I finally just reached out to her. And I asked, how did you do it? What feedback can you give me? Can you take a second and look at my page? And we had a really good talk, and she really helped me. Be open for feedback. Use it as a positive thing. And last but definitely not least, this is my biggest one. Don't think that this is going to be handed to you. Hard work, time, and consistency is how you will get it. No other way. You don't post on Facebook one time and think that it's all going to start flowing in. Or even post 3 times a week and think that it's going to come flowing in. That's not how it works. Oftentimes we think when we join network marketing that it's a rags to riches and that it's going to be something that just happens and that people make money easily. While it's personally, I think it's a lot better than sitting at a desk at a 9 to 5 working for someone else, watching the clock all day. But that doesn't mean that it's easy peasy and that I'm sitting back on my couch now with my feet up, chilling and taking naps while my son naps. No, it's a grind. Emily said this once, and she got it from the book of the 4-Year Career. I think that's what it's called. She said, those that attract, train, and motivate the most will be the ones that make it. And that's totally true. There's no way around it. Point blank, that's it right there. It takes, like I said, taking feedback, taking advice, being coachable, always wanting to learn, and never stop reaching out. We're always growing, you guys. And with hard work, you can move mountains in this business. While it's not handed to you, it's different. In no other company have I ever worked for, and that I know of, that's legal, that you can double and triple your paychecks within a few months, that you can rank advance, and there's no sexism. There is nothing stopping you but yourself. You are paid for your efforts. Your efforts are matched. And that's as simple as I can put it. If you treat it like a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby, which can be a huge blessing for a lot of people. It was for me at that time in my life. But if you treat it like a business and you start looking at this like you're the CEO of what you're doing, you will begin to be paid like a CEO, but it's not handed to you. So that's it. Those are my don'ts for the business, at least where I'm at right now with it all, my biggest don'ts. I hope that it's helpful for you, and thank you so much for joining me.